This is Alchemist 2, and I'm back again with another series review. I just recently finished reading the Scorch Trials, which is, technically, this is the second book in the Maze Runner series, but if you want to be perfectly accurate, it's the third book in the Maze Runner series. This takes place not too long after the maze has been solved by Thomas and Teresa. And they go across this vast part of the earth, which is called the Scorch by the Gladers, and it's a desolate part of the earth. There's nothing there, nothing can grow. It's just what the title says is scorched, and it's completely non-viable. They run into this group of people called cranks, and if you remember from the very first book, that people that are on heavy-duty drugs are called cranks, and there are differing levels of cranks, and also there's differing levels of the flare itself, and we learn that from Jorge, which is he's actually one of the cranks. As we delve deeper and deeper into the book, we learn that Thomas is actually one that's supposed to be killed by another group. He's part of Group A, and then there's a kid called Eris, a young boy who is similar to Thomas in the fact that he and his partner could speak telepathically, and they were known as kind of freaks in their community B, and on his neck there's tattooed to be killed by Group B, and of course he feels rather how to say, he probably feels like he's not going to be doing very well, and that he's just outnumbered. It's pretty amusing, actually, even though it's just terrible for him, and you feel for the guy, and they actually go through the kill order. They go back to that, and how he and Teresa were part of Wicked to begin with, and it still doesn't reveal what the acronym for Wicked actually stands for, but Teresa turns out to be a betrayer, because she has betrayer tattooed on her neck. And Thomas forges a new alliance with another woman named Brenda, and he develops, well, he has a dream where he has a psychic link with her. It's really interesting, and it's a book that you just can't possibly put down. You just have to know what's going to happen next, and it's very, very thrilling, and it's disturbing and frightening in many senses of the word. I'm just happy that this sort of thing is not going to happen in our time. At least I hope it won't, and if it does, and I'm moving someplace where a bird can't find me. Well, they do get aboard a berg actually they're taking aboard a berg at the very, very end of this book, and it segues very nicely into the death cure, but they find that Thomas is actually immune to the flare, and people outside of the people in the communities, they don't like the Munies, as they're called, and I'm just reading about that. I just recently got into it, and it's just like these other books are just completely engrossing, and you just can't possibly put them down, and they're excellent reads. So if you have a chance to read from the very beginning, I would highly, highly recommend it, because it's well worth your time, and I can't wait to see how it ends. I don't know if it's going to be a terrible mess, or if there's going to be some good that comes out of all this, because it just seems like it just gets worse and worse. You've got these grievers. The grievers come out of the ground, and it's got this maw comes out of the ground is where they're going through the Scorch, and this is actually one of the parts that was absolutely terrifying, and I could see this in my mind. And they're crossing the Scorch, and they come across this maw in the ground, and it's got this metal teeth that are rotating. It's kind of like this huge garbage disposal, and I thought, oh my dear Lord God, and I thought, good gravy, James Dashner is so sadistic. He's just got a horrendous imagination, and I could see it in happening, and I thought, oh my, this is where the grievers come out, and yeah, that's what happened. And there actually weren't grievers in that hole. There were other genetically, what they call biotech weapons that were coming out of there that were nothing like the grievers, and had to be stabbed repeatedly to be killed. And I thought, oh dear God, I mean, Jesus, it's terrible. I felt sorry for him. I feel most sorry for Thomas, and especially that he can't reveal his true nature to the other Gladers if they figure out. Well, actually, Wicked comes for him at the very end, but kind of makes you wonder what's going to happen next to poor Thomas, and whether that so-called relationship between he and Teresa will ever be mended. I highly doubt it. Or if he's going to be paired with Harriet, or if he's going to be paired with Brenda. I'm not sure, because Wicked had this whole idea, I think, of having a ratio for the boys to the girls, just to create survivors. It's kind of like Hitler's Aryan race. It reminded me so much of that, and just this is not really the way to go about it. Especially not through experimentation. Come on, haven't we learned? It's just very interesting, and I can't recommend it any more than I do. And then I read the very last part of this, where it has a preview of Eye of Minds and the Rule of Thoughts. And actually, Rule of Thoughts hasn't been... I don't think Rule of Thoughts is out yet, but I'm going to have to read those too, because I read the preview of Eye of Minds, and it kind of reminded me of Sword Art Online. But basically, you've got these characters, or like Serial Experiments Lane, or Ghost in the Shell. It's similar to that. Where these characters are hooked onto the internet, and they call it virtual tech, and it's actually hooked into their cortex, cerebral cortex, the skull itself, and it's very disturbing. I thought, ooh. I actually wrote a story that was similar to that. It's kind of like those virtual reality animes I told you about, and my characters realize that people are not interacting with each other. They're just interacting in these virtual worlds, and then they come to the realization that interacting with each other face to face is actually more worthwhile than anything. It's called interaction. It's probably one of the best things I've ever written. I actually put in a registration for the WGA, and I got it back, and it was worth it. It was a nominal fee, $20. I mean, it's, you know, pretty good chunk of money, but I was able to get everything I needed, and hopefully it'll become a movie soon. We'll see. I don't know. Hard telling. Well, that's all I have to tell you for today, so until next time, bye. Live long and prosper.